help. Okay, so I went through that journey with my grandmother for 8 years. Okay, so I was her complete full-time caregiver for 6 years, and then for the first 2 years I was more part-time when she didn't need as much help. It is a difficult journey. I'm here for you, and I'm here to tell you that you are not alone. It is super important. What I really want to talk about in this video is making sure to get the proper resources. If you feel lost, if you feel confused, there actually are a ton of resources out there that can help you along with this journey. Unfortunately, I'm not really sure why this is, or maybe it depends on the kind of insurance you have or the region that you live in. I'm not really sure why this is, but my grandmother was not given any kind of direction when she was diagnosed with dementia. It was pretty much like, okay, you have dementia, here's your medication, and good luck, right? So there wasn't really any direction on, okay, so how do we care for them? You know, how do we help them get through tough days? How do we keep them busy? How do we reduce the agitation? How do we do all these things? And I was very stressed out. My mother was really stressed out. And it was just difficult. It was just difficult. And it was, you know, on the verge of tears several times just because of how hard the journey was. So if you are going through that journey, I want to encourage you to get with the Alzheimer's organization. Okay, so just Google Alzheimer's organization hotline. The number will come right up. And what you're going to do is you're going to explain exactly what you're going through and say, hey, look, I'm just completely lost. My parent or my grandmother or my grandfather just got diagnosed with dementia. Where do we start? What do we do? We have no idea how to care for the loved one. Okay. And what they're going to do is they're going to direct you to different resources. So one of the resources that they gave me was getting with a caregiving group. So what we would do is have a Zoom call once a week and then talk about different tips and tricks and tactics to care for my loved one with dementia. Now, unfortunately for me, I got a hold of that information way too late. My grandmother was already nonverbal. She was already basically bedridden, and so a lot of the tips and tricks and tactics, it just wasn't helpful. What was nice was just kind of seeing that other people are going through it and you're not alone, but other than that, it didn't really help me. But this is why I want to try to get this information out as quick as I can to the whole entire planet, if I can, to get with someone, get with a caregiving group via the Alzheimer's organization. Just say, hey, look, I need to get with a group. I need to have some kind of coaching. I need support with this. So get with a group and, or ask them to get you connected to a group. Then what they'll do is they'll get you connected with the group, and then you'll start to do the Zoom calls, and then you can go from there. So they also gave me a really amazing thick booklet of tips and tricks, which I will be going over with some of you all as time goes on. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that if you haven't found my page before. But I just want to tell you, I just want to reassure you that God put you in this position because you can do this, right? God put you in this position because God knows that you're the right person to take care of your loved one. All right. If you are debating about putting your loved one in a home or not, I want to tell you that tune out all of the opinions. You have to do what is best for you. You know in your heart, right? In your heart of hearts, if you are able to go on this journey. If you're not able to do this journey, then it's okay to put your loved one in a home. All right. I know a lot of people feel bad, but this is what I'll say. If you first and you know that she or he will have better care in the care of a facility where the staff, and you really vet the place. So don't just go to the very first place. You know, I would say honestly, if you really loved one is getting the proper care, research like 5 to 7 different locations in your area and then compare and contrast. Also, if there is reviews, get in those reviews and see if anyone left an email address where you can email them and say, hey, can you please let me know what is a good like what are some things that you can tell me about this facility, because I really want to make sure that my loved one is getting the best care. Can you tell me your honest opinion? And people, you know, what I found is that in this journey, people know how difficult it is, and they are willing to really extend themselves and really, you know, be somebody that can be of value to you to the best of their ability. So go ahead and go for it. Don't let any pride get in the way of asking for help, asking for opinions on this journey. I also have heard, I didn't go through this, but I have heard that there is an agent that you can get in contact with that can also help you. So if you are looking to put your loved one in a facility, you can get with the Alzheimer's organization, and they can more than likely direct you to a resource to help you get an agent to kind of like go on that journey with you of where you're going to put your loved one. But I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about it. Is it right? Is it wrong? It doesn't matter what anyone's opinion is. I want to tell you, it's you and your family's journey. Okay. Now, I said this in another live yesterday, but ironically, we kind of got like forced into going full time. No, I don't want to say the word forced. That's not the right word, but it just happened to end up working out to where me and my mom were able to take care of my grandmother full time, because in Los Angeles County, pretty much her insurance, any facility that actually took her insurance was full. And so she was on wait list, but it was like the wait lists were 1 or 2 years, and it was like more than likely she would probably pass away, which she did. She would probably pass away before she was able to even get into a facility after she was, picked as the next one in line on that wait list. So I just want to tell you that God is going to have your back on this. And I can only talk about God with this journey because that's how I got through it. That's how me and my mother got through it. Prayer, meditation, God, and just really like feeling, just leaning on something greater than us to be able to carry us through. Because there is days, you guys, where, it was bad. My grandmother was very physical, and so she would punch me in the face sometimes. Like, there was a time where I talk about this whole story in another video. You're going to want to scroll further down my page, but there's an entire story of how my grandmother almost got me sent to jail because, we were pretty much going back and forth on the street, and I was getting her, trying to get her walking out of the street. It was just bad. Like, she got out, left the house. When I turned my head for a second, she walked out of the door, walked the street. It was just bad. By the grace of God, somebody seen me trying to not let her go into the street and called the police, and the police rolled up on us. And the first thing that my grandmother says is, "She's hitting me." And I'm like, "No, I'm not, Grandma. I'm just trying to I'm holding you back from trying to go into the street, But my grandma was the one punching me, which was fine. It wasn't, I'm not sitting here saying it was a pleasant experience, but I knew it wasn't coming from a place of wanting to really hurt me. She just was scared. She was fearful. She's she's not really recognizing what's going on, what the environment, was happening in her environment. She's petrified. And so it's like anybody could get it, So anyways, if you want to hear about that story in full detail, scroll further down my page. What I'll do is I'll link it in the description and you can watch the whole video. But you're not alone. And so get with the Alzheimer's organization. When you do end up getting on this journey, there is kind of this energy of pride. I notice that some caregivers have, because you can do it all, but you can't. You can't. That's why these facilities, that's why memory care assisted living facilities exist, because it is a full 24-hour around the clock job. And most of the time, most of us have either children, spouses, full-time careers, and you can't do all of that and do full-time taking care of your loved one. Okay, so it's okay. I wanna help you understand. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say this is too hard. It's okay to say I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what to do. What are my options here, right? There's also another thing that you can do with respite care. You can request someone to come in and just relieve you for 2 or 3 hours, just so you're not you can kind of get a break, go walk around, go run errands, go to the beach, go to a lake, go to a park, go to the movies, just something outside of the caregiving environment to just give you a mental break. So that does exist. So if you just literally Google respite care or caregivers to relieve other caregivers, just type in respite care, and it should come right up. Also, that's another thing you can ask the Alzheimer's organization. I'm sure by now in 2025, there's really excellent resources at this point for them being able to direct you to a respite care type of resource center. Okay, so you know, go ahead and check that out as well. But I would just really start at the Alzheimer's organization. Like, I would start there. And then ask them any question, write down everything that you're going through, every single thing. And they even have it to where if you're like going through it in the middle of the night, there's even someone on duty to be able to just kind of talk you through and help you through that moment. Like, if what happens is there's something called sundowning, where your loved one will try to, you know, they basically just don't realize that it's nighttime, and they're fully ready to go and up as if it's 4 o'clock in the daytime, 3 o'clock noon in the daytime. So their circadian rhythm is just completely off. And so that can be very tiring. It can be very exhausting. So I do remember them having that 24-hour care where you can call and say, hey, look, my loved one is trying to escape. I don't want to say escape. That's just what me and my mom would say. Like, she's trying to escape. But you know that your loved one is just active, and they're trying to leave the house, and it's not safe. And even though they can't necessarily do anything, it's just nice to have somebody talking you through and helping calm you down while you're dealing with that experience, right? So just keep that in mind. You really do want to reach out to the Alzheimer's organization. I don't know why doctors are not permitted. I don't know if it's a permissions thing. I don't know if it's just not within their pay grade. I don't know what it is, but they do not give any kind of direction. If you know, and my grandmother was on the basic California Medicare, you know, with her being a senior in California, she was just on the basic insurance. So I don't know if it was just because her insurance was just the basic level type of care, and you know, all they're really required to do is just the basics. So that's why I'm like, okay, just because somebody doesn't have the proper care. Is there a fire going on over there? Looks pretty wild over there. I think there's a fire going on. But just because somebody doesn't have elite insurance doesn't mean that they can't be told just a couple extra, you know, paragraphs of, hey, here's some resources that you could reach out to. Like, I don't feel like that's doing too much. Okay, so if anyone is watching from the medical field, the medical industry, like, please incorporate some kind of something for people to feel like they're not so lost, you know, if anyone is watching this. So definitely please make sure to reach out to the Alzheimer's organization, and they'll be able to help you. I promise they'll be able to help you, and you can just start from there. Also, if there's any questions, anything that there is literally no dumb question. There's no stupid question. There's no ignorant question. It doesn't matter if it's like, oh, well, I should have known that. Any question that you have, please put it in the comments. Please put it in the community tab. Reach out, you know, respond to my community tab. I'm always reading my messages. I may not be able to respond to all of them, but please reach out. You can also email me at embodypursuit@gmail.com. embodypursuit@gmail.com. So it's EMBODYPURSUIT at gmail.com. embodypursuit@gmail.com. If you have a personal thing that you want to disclose or you want to ask me, you know, you have my word. I will not, you know, I do have the honor system, the honor code to not talk about, I keep everything confidential. That's what I'm trying to say. Everything is confidential. But what I do notice is that when I do get messages, some of your guys' messages is very similar to other people's messages. So I might do a whole general video on it without talking about any specifics. You know, and if there's just something that I do not know about, I will make it my duty, make it my purpose to seek out the right information and lead you, at least help guide you in the right direction on what you need to do. So please, you have a partner in crime with this. Like, you have somebody that's gone through it for 6 years, the blood, the sweat, the tears. I went through all the emotions, all of the roller coasters, all of anything you can think of. I went through it. So, you know, please lean on me. I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, please lean on me, and I will get you the information as soon as I can and as clear as I can, and direct you to the correct resources that can actually help you with what you need, okay? So, I'm trying to think if there's anything else in this particular video. Bottom line is, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. I ended up developing like a really crazy sugar addiction. My skin completely broke out really bad during that journey. And I didn't realize it at the time because I was like, okay, you know, I don't abuse alcohol. I've never done any drugs. Like, I was like, you know, like going in on some food is not a big deal, but that's the silent drug. That's the silent one, because it's legal. It's, you know, especially in America, everything's surrounded around food, everything bigger, more, better, tastier, sugarier, processed. And I definitely got hooked onto sugar and ended up developing really, really bad skin issues, which I talk about on my other channel. But definitely let me know what you guys need help with down in the comments, and I will be back on the next one. Bye.